What's going on, Dope fam? Back with another video. Hope you guys have been doing well. For today's video, we're going to go through the charts. We're going to go through some major data points because I really do think when it comes to Bitcoin, more than likely Bitcoin has just gone through its major bottoming formation, and I really do think the low is in for November. I will show you guys a few data points on why I really think that is the case. But without further ado, I'm Dope Oxide. I make content on YouTube, X, and CoinMarketCap, so be sure to follow those pages. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. First of all, for liquidations have dropped quite a bit with $300 million as of today. And yesterday, we actually hit a major $1.7 billion liquidations. So of course, if you guys were around yesterday, we had some major liquidation events. And based on our rule of over $750 million in liquidations, we can expect at least a relief bounce, if not a full-on reversal. And I'll show you guys later on in the video why I really do think a reversal is about to happen. But next up is the liquidation heat map. Looking at the liquidation heat map, it just seems to me max pain is to the upside. As you guys can see, looking down below us, we have barely any liquidations below us all the way down to 92k. Whereas for the upside, the short side, we have so many liquidations above us. We have a major liquidation point at the 111k region, as well as all the way up to all-time highs. So when it comes to this, max pain is definitely to the upside, and I would not be surprised during our relief bounce, if not reversal, we have a nice pump to the upside, and then we can reevaluate the charts and see if we're actually going to continue on making new higher highs and higher lows. Next up is the Ethereum to USD chart. Look, as it stands right now, it's looking quite ugly. We're going to have to look at Bitcoin and see how Bitcoin performs, because really, as it stands right now, Ethereum has done a major dump to the downside. It actually underperformed compared to other altcoins. So when it comes to that, obviously we had a massive dump across the chart for base chain, obviously due to the fact that Ethereum actually underperformed. Looking at the one-day RSI, something to note is, as long as we break above this one-day RSI trend line and this consolidation, we can expect a relief bounce to the upside for Ethereum and at least some reversal signs. Next up is Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin has actually reclaimed the wedge I was showing you guys the past few months. And look, generally wedges usually break out to the upside. And looking at this, we had a scam wick to the downside. We had a lot of sellers coming in and really forcing the market to go to the downside. And we've actually had a close above, and we're technically still inside. And if I zoom in, you guys can actually see, as of today, we've actually retested the bottom end of the wedge. So I would not be surprised the bottom is in, and we can have some reversals to the upside. I'll show you guys some tweets later on at the end of this video, so be sure to stick around, because I really do think a reversal is in play for Bitcoin, and more than likely altcoins can really start catching up in the future. When it comes to Total3 and the others chart, same thing as Ethereum, we just have to wait for it to develop and really just wait for the price action, because right now, as it stands, due to these massive liquidation events, we just have to look back at the King and see how the King is performing, because right now it is showing signs of a bottom is in, but at the end of the day, we have to wait for proper bullish structure. And as it stands right now, we have some seller exhaustion. We have a nice little bounce to the upside into that wedge, but we have to wait and see if this actually holds. And if this does hold up, we can expect at least a bounce to the upside and the top end of the wedge. Next up is base native tokens. So of course we have TOSHI. When it comes to TOSHI, TOSHI's barely holding on to this major trend line. And I've showed you guys this trend line for multiple months, but something really informative to look at, which actually might hint that TOSHI is actually bottoming. The daily RSI for the Coinbase chart, basically since TG. So as you guys can see, back in March, April, as well as June, generally these were major bottoming formations put in place, and we just had that signal actually flagged today. So as you guys can see, daily RSI is actually kicking at the 30 level, and I would not be surprised we actually have some bullish divergences play out for TOSHI, just like we had back in April. So if I zoom in on April, as you guys can see, technically TOSHI was actually making new lower lows on closes, whereas the daily RSI was actually trending up. So let me just zoom in on that. So as you guys can see, we had a bottoming on the daily RSI. The RSI was trending up, but the price was trending down. So I would not be surprised that is the case for TOSHI in the next few days. And if we do get that, so let's say if it goes like this, and we actually just trend up on the RSI, but TOSHI actually makes marginal lower lows on the daily, I would not be surprised that is a bottom, and we can really stick up and make a V-sharp reversal to the upside once Bitcoin really wakes up. Next up is Alien Base. I told you guys when it comes to Alien Base, I had a full-on breakdown. Of course, when it comes to 24-hour performance, it's up nearly 20%, which is really good to see. But look, the most important thing is we have to get above this major accumulation line ASAP, this blue line, which is sitting around the 8.2 mil market cap, because the importance of it is major. We've been above this for basically, how long have we been above it? We've been above it for over 550 days, which just tells me we have to get above this ASAP. I really want to see a weekly close above this area, above the 8 mil market cap. So if we do get a weekly close above, and make sure this weekly candle actually closes a green above it, this will actually tell me seller exhaustion is happening for Alien Base, and we can actually expect a full-on reversal to happen. But at the end of the day, that is just my preference and my ideal scenario to play out. I'll keep relaying the charts to you guys because, of course, we could just keep dragging on to the downside and this coin could actually die. Of course, I really don't think that is the case. It's got really nice TVL numbers and some really nice volume numbers. So when it comes to fundamentals, that is a clear divergence to me. Because really, in my opinion, Alien Base is super undervalued. It should not be below 8 mil market cap at all, in my opinion. The TVL numbers, I believe, is over 10 mil, as well as volume numbers consistently hitting the 10 mil mark the past 24 hours. So there is a definite fundamentals divergence with the market cap and fundamentals right now. But when it comes to the latter part of the video, I'm going to play a segment that sponsors the channel. If you guys are looking for the fastest trading bot to add to your suite, I do recommend the BaseBot. BaseBot is the fastest trading bot on any chain that have support for Ethereum, Base, Binance Smart Chain, etc. And personally, I use it for my trading suite for degen trading. It has the fastest transaction speeds. It has multi-wallet support. It has support for Base, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, etc. And my most favorite thing about the bot is it has full anti-MEV protection, so you don't have to worry about getting sandwich attacked on any EVM chains. But when it comes to Base Trading Bot, it is the fastest Telegram trading bot, and personally I use it. Be sure to click on the link in the description below, and thank you for supporting the channel, and I will continue now to our next segment of this video. Alright, so next up is the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. I want you guys to note this. We had a fearful day, but yesterday we actually hit extreme fear 23. It's really looking like, to me, we're actually full on bottoming right now. We've finally had a few extreme fear readings, and it's really just telling me the sellers are pushing the price as hard as they can. We finally had an extreme fear reading, and it's just quite funny to me is because we had some extreme fear across the charts. Yesterday I was getting comments over on my X and YouTube that the bear market's confirmed, we're all going to zero, etc. We had extreme fear across the charts, but let me go to the 1 hour. Like, look how long Bitcoin actually lasted below 100k. It was actually just wicks. We didn't actually get a close below 100k. It was just temporary wicks, really just 3 technical wicks here, 1, 2, 3. You could potentially count this one as a 4th, but yeah, look at that. So collectively, it's probably like less than 2 hours of actually price action below 100k, and we had extreme fear readings. We had absolute hysteria on CT. On Twitter, everyone's literally calling, all right, Bitcoin's topping, bear market's here, 4-year cycle is done and dusted. Really just telling me sellers are coming in, fighting everyone out of their holdings for the next major breakout to the upside, because I really do think that November and December will close green. I'll show you some tweets to actually back that. So first tweet is by Charting Guy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And look, when it comes to the moving average for Bitcoin, I believe this is the 50 EMA. And when it comes to this moving average, this whole bull cycle, it has been a major support. And really, every time it's been retested, we've had some major fear getting everyone out of their holdings. And basically, it's just been a bottom. And the rest is noise. I really do think Bitcoin is about to have another leg up from here. Of course, we could technically close below. And if we do close below, we're going to have to start calling out top signals, because of course that means a trend has been changed. But generally, you want to stick to the trend, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like literally every time this whole bull cycle we've bounced off this moving average, it has been a local bottom, and we've actually made new highs shortly after. Next up is by Crypto Hub. Ethereum 6-month chart compression. As you guys can see, Ethereum has been in a major compression wedge since basically 2021. And this just tells me if Ethereum is going to break out, it's going to be within the next 6 months, more than likely Q4 in my opinion. And if that is the case, we'll have a massive breakout to the upside. And if we do have a bear market starting, of course, Ethereum is more than likely going to have a major breakdown, probably below $1,000. But at the end of the day, the verdict is we're going to have a major move. This is a major inflection point in my opinion. A major move has to happen within the next 6 months, and more than likely, in my opinion, it will be to the upside. Next up is by Psychedelic. This is a very extensive tweet. When it comes to the tweet, top is not in for Ethereum either. Ethereum looks amazing on the higher time frame. It's pumped 3.5 times off the lows, retraced 50% of that move. It's tagged the SMA moving average, and it's actually holding above the 1 month break of 4.5 year trend. So when it comes to the chart, like look at this, look how beautiful Ethereum is. We've actually consolidated in this massive wedge. We've broken out. We've had a hard retest of this wedge, and it's actually looking like it's going to close above it for the month. And if that is the case, this confirms this resistance is now treated as support, and we can expect new highs shortly after. Next up is Psychedelic once again. He has some really nice charts, and going back to that moving average I was saying before, as you guys can see, every time we've touched this moving average, the RSI has bottomed out around the 50 range, as well as the fear and greed. The fear and greed has gone well into extreme fear levels, and we had that just yesterday. This tweet was actually made yesterday, hence why we're actually sitting at 104k. But as you guys can see, look, the RSI has fully bottomed out. We've had that fully bottoming out for November, and this just tells me more than likely this bottoming formation has been confirmed, and we can expect at least a relief bounce, if not full-on reversal. If you guys are still bearish and want to get out, I really do expect at least a relief bounce for the month of November, and then you can decide what you guys want to do with your holdings. But look, when it comes to massive fear events like we had yesterday, generally we have massive pumps to the upside, and then if we're going to roll over, if a bear market is going to start, you do have a few weeks to get out. Next up is by Super Bitcoin Bro, the Bitcoin Weekly. The spring is loaded. So this is quite similar to that moving average, but this is actually represented by Bollinger Bands. As you guys can see, this Bollinger Band chart is actually showing how tight the bands have been. And technically right now, when it comes to the Bollinger Band compression, it is the tightest it has ever been for this bull cycle. This just tells me a massive pump or dump is going to happen for the next 2 months. It's more than likely going to be to the upside in my opinion, because as you guys can see, we've actually wicked below this multiple times, and it has been the compression we need to actually make a breakout to the upside, and we just had that. As long as we really could just close above the 104k region for this week, I really do think that compression is confirmed, and more than likely we can have a bounce to the upside, if not all-time highs. Next tweet is by Semka. Mission, reclaim the range. So this is a bit more lower time frame kind of stuff. As you guys can see, our last major dump was April of this year. We had a nice retest of that moving average, and note this, so wicks below are actually perfectly fine, and in my opinion that just tells us as long as we don't have consecutive daily closes below this, the trend has not changed. And if I actually zoom in here, and as you guys can see, the daily actually technically closed below that moving average, just like we did yesterday. But as long as we don't have multiple daily closes below this, this just tells us this is another major selling event, and the trend has not changed. There is no reason to be bearish. It's just another dump to absolutely flush the markets, flush the leverage, and flush the sentiment. Next up is by Charting Guy, Bitcoin. So this is a really nice chart. This is just showing us our horizontal support levels. And really when it comes to Bitcoin, basically every time it's wicked below the major 100k region, it's been a nice sweep of the lows. And then we actually seen at least a relief bounce to the upside, if not a reversal. So of course we had a nice relief bounce here, then we rolled over, but then we had that nice reversal to the upside. So based on alone, we can also expect at least a relief bounce to the upside. And then if you guys think a bear market's going to happen and we roll over, that's the time to sell. But in my opinion, this will be the reversal to the upside. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is just my opinion. There is just so many data points showing us the majority has been wrong this whole bull cycle. We're currently in extreme fear territory, and usually tops do not happen during extreme fear times. It happens during euphoric greed times, and I really don't think a top is in for Bitcoin. Next and final tweet is by Ask Crypto Wealth. You gave up before wave 3. So this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Let's see how this plays out, but this is just an interesting thought. In my opinion, if this actually does play out, we're going to have a massive alt season. We can have massive euphoria for our base native token assets. Because as you guys can see, this is technically a wave 1, a wave 2. And more than likely after that wave 2 is the wave 3. And generally, the wave 3 is the biggest move of the 5-wave Elliott wave theory. And really, if it does happen within the next 2 months, we can expect massive euphoria coming around November, December, and January. And I'm quite excited for this to play out because I will monitor you guys this chart. It's technically the most important chart to look at, because if we do expect this is about to happen for Bitcoin dominance, we can expect base native token assets like TOSHI, Alien Base, etc. to absolutely explode to the upside. And more than likely, we can expect a massive euphoric wave move for Bitcoin and Ethereum. But that's all to the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and comment down below if you guys have any questions. If you guys are bearish, please post your bearish below, because I find it quite funny. I just laugh at those comments because generally a lot of bearish comments come in right at the bottoms. So keep going at it. But that's all to the video, guys. Have a good one. Have a good day. Peace. Actually wicked below.